Disclaimer: Dad Space won't make you TikTok famous, but might make you legendary at home.
Hey, welcome back to Dad Space, podcast for dads by dads. This is Dave, a fellow dad. Glad to be with you. We are looking at a video that's like 26 minutes on YouTube that I think is really going to be a big investment for you as a dad. And we're breaking it down and putting it into context for dads. It's not really written and executed on YouTube for dads specifically, but there's some great things I think that you and I can pull out of this. We're going to break them down. There's 4 main segments. We're going to break them down into 4 episodes and just expand on them and relate them more to dads. So I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Dad Space. Again, the link to the video that we're talking about from Daniel Pink, an author, is in the show notes. So if you haven't heard it yet, then please go and watch the video. Again, 26 minutes of your life, and I think it can help you. We're going to go from inspiration to something much better as we start out our year together, you and I. 2026. Glad you're here. Thanks for pressing play. Let's go. I think at this time of year when everyone's talking about a list of all the things they want to be and who they want to, what they want to accomplish in 2026, it's a list. It's a bunch of inspirational ideas, but it lacks what Daniel talks about in this video around structure. It's one thing to have a list of ideas. It's another thing of figuring out how you're going to get there. And when the ideas don't come true and the inspiration starts to wane, a lot of people just give up. That's why gym memberships take a nosedive in February. It's why people stop podcasting when they started a show in January. It's why people stop writing the book. It's why people don't pick up the guitar again. It's when people just go, I'm over it. And that's when inspiration leaves. So we got to go from being inspired to being more structured as dads. Now, this might be your default setting to be a structured person and understand how you can keep yourself on task. But to many of us, the idea of being structured seems to be limiting. It seems to be a chore. It seems to kind of be like a job. And we want to talk about what Daniel's sharing in his video. Again, tweak it more for a Dad Space audience, but we're going to talk about his Act 1 that he talks about in the video. And we're going to talk about a regret review, having a premortem as a dad, a yearly theme to our life in 2026, and how we can break our 365 days into some easier, shorter sprints, which helps us to be more focused for a condensed period of time and see growth. So again, let's get into this. We're going to talk about first the regret review portion of what Daniel is sharing with us in the video in the show notes. Again, I'd love for you to go check it out and leave a comment for Daniel on his YouTube channel as well, because it's a great video, great content. It's really sparked some creative ideas for me as a dad in 2026 as well. So let's talk about the regret review portion of what Daniel talks about in his video. So one of the first things Daniel does, after reminding us as well that there's a downloadable version of this, I'll put a link in the show notes, but also on the YouTube channel for this episode. But yeah, go grab a copy of that. It's free. I grabbed mine. It's great. As Daniel, first he says to us, we got to look at a regret from 2025. Not an entire exhaustive list of regrets, but a single regret from 2025. And for us to set a clock for 10 minutes and come up with one regret that we wish never happened. We wish we could erase something that's just kind of bugging us from 2025 and just clearly call it out. Write it down on a piece of paper. So once we've written down this regret on a piece of paper, this one single regret, remember, not a big list, don't overwhelm yourself, as then we got to write down on a different piece of paper the lesson you learned from that regret, how you feel about that regret, why that regret specifically, and how are you going to avoid repeating this regret as you move forward into 2026. And I love this idea, this exercise of writing it down. And there's a reason behind the 2 pieces of paper, which you'll have to go watch on the video from Daniel as to why you're writing this on 2 separate pieces of paper. It's a very key point. So go check out the video if you haven't watched it, and you'll understand why. but 2 pieces of paper. What's the regret from 2025? And on the second piece of paper, the lesson you learned from that regret, and how are you going to avoid repeating that regret in 2026? Go watch the video for more information on this. But I think this is the first step for all of us, is to establish what is our regret, and review that regret, and use that as fuel for your fatherhood fumbles from last year, and how you're going to overcome and how you're going to move forward. Your action plan for 2026. First step, regret review. The next step is to do a premortem on what we're looking at as far as our growth as a dad. A more common term that most of us would be more acquainted with would be a postmortem. And as Daniel talks about in the video, a postmortem explains why something died. So think of an autopsy, right? A premortem explains why something might die before it even happens, so that you can actually stop it from happening. So we need to conduct a premortem on our life as a dad instead of a postmortem after the fact. And this is all about reverse engineering the thing that you want, understanding your goal, working your way backwards from the goal, and adding in the steps to get to the goal that you've predetermined for yourself. A premortem might be the key thing for you to do in 2026. And again, go watch the video. This is not meant to be the video. This is meant to be a recap and a refocusing for dads. You need to go watch this video so that you understand what we're talking about. So again, a postmortem explains why something's died, and a premortem explains why something might die and how we can make steps to keep that from happening. The next thing I love about Daniel's video under this Act 1 is the idea that we need to create a one-word theme for the year. Not a big fancy flowery language around who we are and what we want to be and blah, 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 blah. No, one word, just a single word, right? So for me, let's give us an example. My word for 2026 would be connection. Why connection? Because I want to connect with my wife. I want to connect with my kids, my grandchildren, my circle of friends. I want to connect with you through podcasting. Connection touches every part of my life. And that's my goal in 2026, is to connect. And I'm doing things in a different way to put me in the path of more people that I can connect with on purpose. So connection is my word. I have one single word. That's it. My one single focus is connection. It's going to branch off into different areas, but I'm always coming back to connection. So what's your word for 2026? What is your one key focus, your theme for the year based on a word? It could be anything. And I love how Daniel breaks this down and explains it in more detail in the video. So definitely go check it out again so that you can walk through and see. I love how he lays out his video. It's so easy to follow. But go check out his video in the link in the show notes. And again, leave him a comment in the show notes, in the notes for his episode on YouTube, and put your feedback right there for him as well. I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. But we need a one-word theme for 2026. This is tougher than it seems, to come up with a single word that'll be your theme for the entire year. 365 days, you're going to make this word your word in 2026. What is your word? What is it? And write it down. Put it everywhere so that you'll remember it. But yeah, go check out the video for more about this. The other thing that he talks about in the video is breaking up your year into smaller chunks so that you have a more focused, time-bound guide to your year instead of it being wide open and trying to do everything over a long period of time, breaking them up into smaller chunks. And he talks about a 90-day season on the video. So what I like about Daniel's 90-day seasons, these 4 seasons that we do over the year, where I live in Canada, we have 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, and winter. So it's natural to have these seasons. So the beautiful thing, I think, from a dad's perspective is instead of doing one thing and trying to do it for the whole year, we do something in bite-sized chunks. Just like a book has chapters. It's not one entire chapter as the book. They have chapters. And we can then do our life in this year, this calendar year, in 4 buckets. And then at the end of each season of the 4 seasons, we can then take a break, look at it and see what's working, toss out what's not working, pivot, change, adjust, and head into the next season ready to go. We have smaller window of time. We have a shorter time to measure if things are working or not. Instead of measuring it over the entirety of the year and waiting to the end of 2026 to see if we were successful, we have more bite-sized chunks. And by focusing on those bite-sized chunks, it allows us to see where progress is happening and where we're slipping. So again, go back to the video, watch it again, because he lays it all out for us really, really easily to see, and great visuals on the video. And I just love how he presents it. He's got some great examples as well in the video. Go check it out. Link in the show notes. So this is the kind of stuff I love when things pop up on my For You page or somebody sends me a link and says, Dave, check this out. It's great when we can share resources with each other. Like you might have already seen this video way before you press play on this episode, which is awesome. This was my first interaction with this author. And I do have an author podcast, so I think I'm going to reach out and see if he'll come on because, oh my gosh, my mind is melting. So I love finding great resources that make you think and then bringing it to you and sharing it with you that hopefully it inspires you as well. So if this does inspire you, if this does give you some pause at the beginning of the year, right? It's still early. We're just in the beginning of the year. You can catch up on this. So focus on a regret review, focus on a premortem, figuring out how to keep something from dying. Also then focus on your yearly theme. What's your one word? And your 90-day seasons, breaking up your year into bite-sized chunks. By doing these things and following the video exactly as it is on YouTube, I think we're going to find that this is a great way for us as dads to show up better in 2026. We have some direction. We're not just aimlessly floating through life on cruise control. We have a point. We have a point of reference. We have a goal. We reverse engineer what we want in life by working our way backwards to the beginning so we know how to get where we want to be. And that's what Dad Space is all about, helping you as a dad to not just float through life and then wake up one day and go, what just happened? Right? We want to show up every day with intention, with love for our family. We want to be that person that our family's looking to in 2026. It starts right now. And it starts by going to watch that video from Daniel. Well, watch it, please, and jump into his comments on his video and let him know that you're following along and you love what he's doing. Again, I'm going to reach out to him, see if I can get him on my Living the Next Chapter podcast. It's an author podcast. I would love to talk to this author. I just love how he does this. So again, we'll come back for Act 2 from the video, focused more on dads in the next episode. So I welcome you back, and let's keep the conversation going. If you need anything from me, dadspace.ca. Love to connect. Thanks for being here. Take care. Hey, dads, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of the podcast. Thank you for following the show. I'd encourage you to do just so if you haven't done so already. Look at your phone. There's like a little follow button or subscribe, or I don't know what it says on your screen, but there's like a little button at the top of the screen. If you click that button, that means every time a new episode of Dad Space shows up, it goes right to your phone. It's waiting for you whenever you're ready. So you don't have to try to remember, what's the name of that show? Space Dad? No, Dad Space. It'll show up right there for you if you follow the show. That'd be great. If you listen on Spotify, like I do, I'm a Spotify user. You can actually leave a comment in every episode, and I will respond as your faithful host to any comments you leave in the episodes. So please jump in. Love to read your comments, your thoughts about the episode. That'd be fun. And if ever you just want to just hang out with another dad, you got a few moments on your time in your day, in your week, and you're like, I'd just like to grab a virtual coffee with Dave. You can always buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com, but you could also just join me for a virtual coffee and we could just chat about dad stuff. I'm always looking forward to meet the people who listen to this show. That brings me a lot of joy. So, dadspace.ca. all the information in the show notes. And thank you for being here. And thank you for sharing this podcast with one other dad. I really appreciate you. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you on the next episode. Take care.